important is it for other actors and actresses to stay productive with, Tyler, to your point that we were talking about in one of the previous episodes, with the tools that are at our disposal? You know, if it's at the very least a cell phone, or if you have like, you know, webcam, etc. How important is that to stay productive during these times?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think more so. I think yes. I think as artists, we can still empower ourselves, to use the tools that are at our disposal. We have, we all, well, most people, we have cell phones, that has, editing, you can shoot on it, you can edit it. So like already, even before, pandemic, it's like a thing of, we have all these tools that sometimes, we sometimes take for granted. And I think, especially in a time like this where, like the industry is in such a weird place right now where we don't really know what the future is, or, when are things going to open up? When can people go on set? When is it going to be safe to kind of create in the way that we're used to, in terms of conversing with people and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's important to just realize, that there are these tools that we have. We have Zoom, we have cell phones, we have, these things that we have that can, let us be productive, and also I think maybe during this time, it's a good time to explore other avenues, in terms of, really take, let your creativity run wild, even though this is a time where things can feel restricted. It can feel like, I can't do something, or I can't do what I want to do. I say in a way, it's like, it can almost like kind of taking it in stride and saying, well, okay, well, I don't have this. I can't go out and, and shoot, or I can't do all these things. Then kind of just looking at it and saying, okay, well, what do I have? What can I do? So I think it's important, just to kind of take stock in what you have, and then also, just have, and also find ways to, still be creative and still, find things that you find interesting, and, and explore, find things that you want to say, and find things, especially during a time like this when, like a lot of stuff's happening, and on multiple fronts, with the pandemic, and, and just all these other things that are going on right now. It's, it's a lot right now. I think it's also important, that we all have stories. We all have, points of view. We all have, kind of speaking to something we talked about earlier. It's like things that make you. And I think that's an important thing. I mean, pandemic aside, but especially now, is like, take pride and take stride in what you find interesting, or what you find. This is challenging for everyone. So is there a way that you can channel, these complex emotions and feelings, and, this pull that, one might have to, I want to make something, but I can't. But there are ways that, you can explore, and you can make something, and you can really look and use all the tools at your disposal. So I think, finding ways to be productive, and finding ways to still be creative, and still, and fuel that part of ourselves as artists, that we want to make stuff, we want to collaborate. So I say, in this difficult time, really just look around, take stock in what you have, and the technology that is at our disposal. And and I think with each passing day, there's new kind of people are doing Zoom readings. People are, I think, a lot of people I know, they're writing things, they're looking at different ways that they can, still be productive and still be creative. So I say, just almost use this time, as trying as it is, to really to explore and really kind of pursue, find what you're passionate about during this, and, find ways that you can make it happen, because there are some ways out there.
Well, and to your point about an actor, an actress, or a filmmaker, them being them, Christian or Jessica, what do you guys, like on a personal level, do you guys ever, like when you're not doing your thing, when you're not being creative, do you guys ever feel that itch or that anxiety of needing to, you're like, I need to do something creative?
Jess, I'll let you, elaborate, but that's how this all came about,
Oh, really?
When Jessica approached me and said, hey, we're not doing our thing. Like, this is crazy right now. Like, it's a crazy time where we need to be, at basic level, the View from the Bridge came about just because Jessica and I are like, we need to work. We've always wanted to play those two roles. pre-pandemic, always, we love this play, we love this work. It's like, hey, we would be really, a good match for, for this play. And we just love it. We want to work on it. So we approached it at the very beginning, and Jessica can speak more to this. And like, we don't care how many views we get. It's not about the viewers as far as the play itself, other than wanting to shout out and educate people about the organizations that, we're trying to support. But like, we need to do our work. I want to be back in rehearsal. I miss acting class. I miss performing with people. All the cast that we assembled are people that we know very well. So just that opportunity alone is like, we need to do our thing. But Jess, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I remember having a FaceTime conversation with Christian. We were just checking in during this pandemic, and somehow we started talking about A View from the Bridge, and we both loved that play and thought oh, I would love to be in that one day. That would just be so much fun. And we kind of ended the conversation jokingly, oh, if there's ever a reading or if there's ever something that comes up, I'll let you know. And it just stuck with me the next day, where I was like, you know what, why don't we do it? Why don't we do the reading? I was like, I can definitely say that I'm I had this feeling can I do it? I don't know. And I reached out to Christian, and I was like, I actually said that I didn't think that we had the cast for it, because there are people in the cast, characters that are out of our age range. And I thought maybe we can't do this play, but is there another play that we could do? And he messaged me back immediately. He was like, I love this idea. No, we have the cast, we can do it. And then from there, we just snowballed and got everybody on board. And it was amazing. It was so fun. And it came from a need to want to create. It was a little like I said, can we do this? And I think to the point that you made earlier, I think that there is a need and a desire as an artist to create. I think that this pandemic has definitely highlighted that even more for me as an artist, because also we as people and actors and all of that want to connect. And I think that this was an avenue in which we all really came together, and it was an opportunity. And I think, it was really awesome.
And to you saying a need to create, Jessica, that and Christian also, when you said it's not about the views and the view count and whatnot, I've known some filmmakers throughout my time here in Tucson that, they say, Edgar, how do you keep on going and doing your stuff? Because I really have a need, I really have a desire to tell it, and then I'm just do it, write your script, gather your friends, execute. Well, but last time I didn't get that many views. And my response is, wait, are you doing this for the views? Or are you doing this because it needs to be told from here? Because most of the time, honestly, it's probably been 95% of the time, the short films that I've created, and they're all on my channel to this day, I've made them regardless of the view count, but I've made them because I've needed to tell those stories. I've had that need to tell those stories. And so, and here's the funny part. I know that there's a lot of people that have never even seen my short films that have been there for years, but that's beside the point. The point was I needed to make them. And so I think that's so awesome that from that need to create, from that need to do your thing, Christian, like you said, you weren't doing your thing. You guys were not doing your thing. And then you took it upon yourselves to say, wait a minute, versus somebody else waiting for, to have a read. Why don't we just do it? That's so awesome. I mean, I've got nothing more there for you guys other than, as my wife says, becoming a broken record. That's so awesome. What do you guys say to all the artists out there, the actors, the filmmakers, the directors, theater people in general, who have a need to create and who are maybe starting to corrode a little on the inside because they are not doing, but who maybe also don't realize maybe this is your time to take the reins and do it yourself? which is okay too. What do you say to those people?
I would say this is our time for two different reasons. As far as artists, creators, writers, directors, producers, actors, actresses, editors, everyone included, right? This is our time because right now, it's like, right now everyone's watching Netflix, binging Netflix shows and Hulu and Amazon and like Disney Plus. And, I know specifically like we're doing that, on our spare time. It's our time as artists right now to like to start creating, start doing it, because we as consumers and audience members, even social distancing, we crave content. We crave stories. We crave cool things that we can watch, via our phones or our laptops or on, the TV. It's also our time. I urge everyone that wants to create, all the artists out there, that once this is settled and things are safe again, this is our time to keep training, to keep up that practice, because then when this is over and things go back to normal, guess who they're going to be relying on? Our voices. I mean voices in the sense of how you contribute to any part of entertainment or content or the creative things that you're working on. So that's why I would say to anyone right now, it's like, I know it's hard. We're all stressed out. We're all scared. We're all under a lot of pressure. But as artists, we have to use this time to keep, it's sort of like going to the gym. We have to keep exercising. Once it drops and we can all go back to work, we have to be ready to go, is what I would say.
Netflix, let's talk, or just you said the C word, Christian. Oh, I'm going to keep it really short. Consumption. Platforms have exploded within the past 10 years. Netflix obviously is a big one. We have so many more. All I'll really say about that is right now, we can either be massive consumers, but I also see, I've never stopped being more of a creator of value or of content than a consumer of content, especially in the pandemic, because people have asked me like, oh my God, Edgar, like, what are you doing with this pandemic and yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, I'm still locked in. I'm still banging out my feature film. Like, life has not changed for me. And I still have to go to work. Thankfully, I've got a job still, but I'm still producing. I'm still creating content. That never stopped. And so that has kept me alive. That has kept me going. Like you said, Christian, this is my gym. You guys actually see it right there. This is where I spend late nights or early mornings. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, this is either a moment where, we're either heavy consumers of content, and, I've Game of Thrones has been my only thing that I've ever actually committed to. Like, my wife and Game of Thrones have been my only two massive commitments. But I've never stopped being a producer of content. So I'm more of a producer of content than a consumer of content. And yeah, I mean, I would say everyone don't start corroding inside. Yeah. Do your thing.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Do your thing, organize your friends, you guys self-organize. And it makes me so happy and inspired when I see groups of people do projects like what you guys did.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys.
I would say too that community. I think community is so important, because I think it is joyful for me to sometimes do a self-tape or to practice on my own, like a monologue or read a play or whatever I need to do. But I think there's an even greater sense of enjoyment personally when doing something like this. I think that as artists, again, we also crave community. And so I think that was what was super fun, is that it was even fun to have our little FaceTime meetings and talk about logistics or just talk about ideas, and then the actual rehearsal process and diving into it. I think that was what was instrumental in also like in creating, was that it was a part of a community, and that like we got to be a part of something. So I think that was really huge.
Cool. Yeah, off of that, I'll say something important. I think Jessica said, it's fun. I think sometimes, when we're, the grind of an artist, when you're auditioning, or you're trying to finish a script and it's not quite coming together, and you're kind of frustrated. There's a lot of frustrating aspects of being an artist, and you're trying to make it, or you're just trying to get onto the next piece, next thing you're working on. But I think especially in a time like this, when it's like the grind has kind of like halted, it's kind of like the emergency brake was pulled. It's like everyone's kind of, there are still, there are some like, self-tape auditions and stuff like that going on, but just as like at large, we kind of put a stop button on a lot of stuff. But I think, it's important. Yeah. It's like find what's fun about this. I think especially right now is like, we all need like fun right now, I think. And especially when it comes to being creative, while it is, there are a lot of, logistical things you might have to go over. You might have to, or it's like, or it is hard work, being an artist and creating art. But I think it's important to chase what's fun, chase what like, the project, and also like, the people that you work with, like the collaborators. Like I was lucky that, all of my collaborators on this project, like they're my friends, and it's like, it's fun, when there are times when it's hard and you're struggling, you're like, how do I make this work? Like, I'm so like, I don't know what to do. Like, that's what I think is finding, the project and the people that, even when it's frustrating, when, the walls feel like they're caving in terms of just the project itself, or like even just, outside of the project, what we're facing right now. I think it's just important, find that project, find those people that like, even during the hard times, it gets fun and it fuels you creatively, but also it's like, it's fun. It's fun to create things. It's fun to work with your friends, and it's fun to, again, regardless of like views, or are people going to see it, or if it's popular or not, like just like it's so fulfilling just to kind of just put something out there, and just, just the mere like satisfaction of just, when I think about, all of us, that like, the joy was not from like, oh wow, people are going to see it. The joy came from like, we made this, like we put our blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, and it was fun. Like, yes, there's stressful moments, but it was fun. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, the memories of that, and just like, my like how proud I was of everyone's work, and just the product as a whole. Like, I think, yeah, just chasing what's fun and what's important to you, and just finding, still staying passionate, but yeah, it's like having fun with it and finding what really fuels that part of the creative process.
And you guys, one of the things sorry to cut you off, Christian. One of the things that brought a smile to my face when I saw the first quarter of the play was definitely the play itself, but how you guys did it. That brought such a smile to my face, because, as a camera nerd, as an editing nerd, to see you guys do what you guys did was just nothing but cool. And so I really, really like, that's what brought a big, and it brings a smile to my face like right now. So just have to say that. I'm sorry, Christian, I cut you off.
Oh, no worries. I was going to say, jumping off of to what, the joy of it, just the night that we taped, and we set it up like it, which was very interesting, because like when we do a play in real life, you have, and also in a film, you have a production schedule. In our case, it's a rehearsal schedule for if we're doing live theater, right? You know that from 6 to 10, Monday through Friday, you're rehearsing, and then there's a dress rehearsal, or there's tech rehearsal, then dress rehearsal. So we were sort of merging through this, because it's a filming schedule now that we all have to jump on Zoom at the same time, and just sort of merge the worlds for us of like, oh, it's actually a film production schedule. You have to be on set, on call, warmed up, ready to go. It was really cool. But the night that we taped, part of the joy of it, which again, we had a ton of technical issues. We were ready to go. We were all sort of just like, all right, here we go. Friday night, what Friday it was, call time is 6:30, jump on Zoom. We're going to start taping at 7. We'll be done by 10. I think you guys, Jessica and Tyler, you can attest to this. It wasn't going well. Like, there was just, like, oh God, like, what did we do? what did we sign up for? And yeah, if my brother were here and Tyler, you know, and Tyler and Alex were calling the show. So pretty much we had to do some holds, or we have to go back and retape that scene. And then there was it was just a whole situation. And for a minute I was like, is this going to work? Is this work? But I knew we took an intermission, if you will.
Yeah.
Texted all of us and they jumped in and they said, we need to fix some stuff, some tech issues. Everyone take a 30-minute break. And I was stressed for a minute, but that's the joy of like live theater and like being on set, is those moments where I was like, but I'm with my friends.
Yeah.
And we did this thing and we're doing this thing. So even though we did have to take a brief intermission while they reset everything, did go back, then it started going smoothly. I remembered. I was like, even despite the stress, we're creating something together and we all care about each other and we have this bond. And I'm excited to go back to work in 30 minutes. You know, I was sitting on our couch in our house, you know, just sort of like, but then I was like, oh no, that's not what it's about. We love each other and we want to keep doing this. And everyone agreed to push 2 more hours of recording when that wasn't what was scheduled. Someone could have said no at one point, being like, I didn't know that this was going to happen, but we all were just like, nope, we're doing it. And that's the part I love about it most. Jessica, to your point earlier, community. Nope, we're all going to do this. We're going to finish it right and let's get it done. Brought a smile to my face. So the night was very stressful. I love
kudos to you guys. That's how things happen. I mean, that's how it comes together. Kudos to you guys, big time, man.
Agreed. And even during that process, like there were moments where we wanted to like rip out our hair because we had done the rehearsals and they had gone so smoothly. They had gone like so smoothly. And then all of a sudden we get to like the very end and we're having glitch, like technical issues. But yes, that was part of the fun. And I also think we're talking to each other like in between, making jokes and like trying to like just boost each other up because we recognized, I think also we all care so much. Like all of the people that were involved in this process put their best foot forward. Everyone worked so hard. And so I think that that was a testament to this like wonderful group, is that we were just really in it together. And that's like what totally made it possible.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, you guys. Let's go ahead and close this one out. Inspiring. I've got nothing new to say beyond that, like what you guys did, how you guys did it, and a view from the bridge. Everyone out in Film Suration, I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in the description of this and all the videos. So please go ahead and check it out and support 110 Productions. You guys, thank you very much, and I will see you guys on the next one, okay?